Yes, guys, this is FPL Insight. We're chasing green arrows. I'm Gianni, the FPL guy, and I'm usually joined by Mr. Dean Jones, but he's off sick tonight. So we have a GOAT replacement for him. This is a guy that has the best FPL rank history you guys will know. Genuinely a real GOAT in the community. FPL Salah. Abdul, thank you for joining us, mate. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Jan. It's a pleasure to join you, mate. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, mate, I'm very good. I'm a bit hot, a bit sweaty. If my fan is too loud on the mic, let me know in the chat, guys, but I can't go without it. The fan has been following me around everywhere I've gone today. So I'm sweltering in this room. But yeah, I'm well excited for game week 2. Like, I feel like this is the business part, right? This is where all that preseason planning is fun. But this is where you're making those weekly transfers where FPL just becomes so important and significant. And these moves early on define your season, right? So yeah, it's fun. There's lots to discuss in the next hour. We're going to be seeing Abdul's team. We're going to be seeing my team. We've got some cool features as always. Those that are usually with us on a Friday will know we do things like Against the Obvious. So yeah, good fun. And look, Abdul, in this show, we answer so many questions that we try and make this stream about you guys watching more than anything. So get your questions in for Abdul, get them in for me, and we'll answer as many as we can. And Abdul, I know you know about the show because you've watched us for a while, haven't you?
Yeah. I follow it quite often, Gianni. I've been on once or twice before as well, on a few of the shows. So yeah, I'm very aware of the good work that you guys do.
Hey, we have had some goats on. Like, I was shocked to see when I started with Chasing Green Arrows that like we've had Kelly Summers and Jules Breach on, amazing. We've also had the likes of Fabrizio Romano and you and people like that. So yeah,
you can't compare me to
Fabrizio Romano. So loving that. But yeah, you can join us every Monday and Friday at 7 for these streams. So do give us a like. Giuseppe Rossi was on as well. No way. Love Giuseppe Rossi. Should have stayed at United longer. So yeah, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and obviously get your questions in. I can see loads in the chat already. Good evening to you guys. Tiffany's with us, Stephen and Nuclear, CH, Haley's back, FPL River and Steve. So yeah, it's going to be a good hour, guys. Give us that thumbs up when you can. First question, I'm going to fire at Abdul, and this is a big one because Chelsea defense is often high risk, high reward, and not many of us went there with Chilwell, but we might be a little bit more certain if Cucurella becomes a starter because it's not as high risk. He's 5 million. How do you see that Chelsea left back or left wing back or left centre back slot going, Abdul, with the new signing?
I should be asking you that question, Gianni, but me personally, I'm really unsure about the left back spot. Like, I think when they signed Cucurella, I think that kind of put us all off kind of Chilwell. I still think he'll be like the first choice, but I mean, I've been hearing like, Cucurella maybe playing at kind of left centre back, maybe, so maybe he integrates them both. But to answer the question, like who will start out with them, I honestly have no idea. If I had one of them in my team, I'd start them. Obviously with the fixture, etc. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think that's a tough one. I think we need to kind of see how that one plays out.
Yeah, fair enough. You guys will see me fiddling with my camera. Apologies. I've had it. My computer's overheated tonight, so I'm on my laptop, but I'm still got my webcam on. So my laptop's way lower than the camera. So yeah, I've had to have a little play around there. So apologies. I'm not looking away from you guys. I'm just trying to see the screen and see Abdul and chatting. But yeah, all good. I look forward to seeing how that evolves with Chelsea defenders. Abdul, you're not on Reece James, are you?
I am. I've got Reece James. So yeah. So I was glad I went with James because I did have Chilwell on the team like at various points like pre-game week 1. But yeah, I think Reece James is probably the safest. Not the safest out of the defenders, but out of the wing backs. So really happy with him.
Yeah, fair enough. Good stuff. And a question from Christopher: how do you plan on using your transfers this season as to how it develops? Like, are you one for planning ahead, Abdul, or are you kind of, booking moves is really dangerous at this point in the season because so much can happen. Yeah. But do you have a rough idea what you're doing with wildcard and transfers and stuff?
Yeah, I think usually, Gianni, in the usual season, would plan quite far ahead. Like, from game week 1, we wouldn't be thinking about using the wildcards anytime soon. But I think this season is obviously different. I'm planning on using mine at probably like game week 8. So, this season is a lot more kind of short-term planning, I think. To be honest, I haven't even looked past game week 3 yet. I just I've got a good game week 2 team. I had a look at game week 3 and I just couldn't really see any transfers to make. The team looks in good shape, but obviously, that can change in a week. So yeah, at the moment, I'm not really looking too far ahead at all. I think once we get past that wildcard stage, after the first international game week, international break, sorry, I think that's when the kind of the kind of nitty gritty things start, I think.
Yeah. Good stuff. 100 of you on already. That's pretty cool. Before we go to our first feature, in fact, we'll read this question and we'll answer it after our titles. So look, Leon Bailey's been a very popular asset pre-season. There's been a bit of an update in the press conferences today. Been a bit of a boring Friday with press conferences, but this one's a biggie because it gives us a little bit of assurance, we think. So let's have a look at Fresh Off the Press. What are we thinking, Abdul? What do we hear from Gerrard today?
Yeah, so it was good news for Bailey owners because I think earlier on in the week, Gianni, there was a lot of kind of murmurs with the predicted lineups with Bailey being on the bench. But I think the update he gave today was pretty convincing. I think I've got it. I mean, I won't read it all, but he just basically said he's looking sharp. He's in a good place, and he was disappointed with all of us. And he said that obviously we were all disappointed with the Bournemouth result. So I mean, from what he was saying, it just kind of seemed to me like he's 110% starting at the weekend.
Yeah, I like the look of that. We'll be having a look at Abdul's team in 10 minutes, guys. So stay tuned for his team reveal and for my team reveal. But let's continue with that sort of press conference theme. In other news, we don't know too much about well, there wasn't much of a giveaway from Conte on Perisic. He's another topical one, isn't he? He's someone I own, and I don't know if I just got asked if I should on another show, should I sell Perisic? Or should we sell Perisic if we own him? I genuinely don't know the answer. For me, the way I play the game, absolutely not. I'm willing to give him time. I see the ceiling there. And from game week 3, his fixtures are awesome. And I think game week 3 could be starting. Game week 2, I don't think he's starting. But am I expecting much against Chelsea anyway, even if he did? And I own him, so I'm probably holding. But I definitely wouldn't say go out and buy him. Of course not. But what would be your take, Abdul? If you were on Perisic now, would you see it through to game week 3?
Yeah, you know what, Johnny? I'd be the same as you. I mean, you're not expecting much against Chelsea if he starts anyway, in terms of clean sheets. Wolves at home, I think that's the game he might start. So I think you've got to stick with him. But at the same time, I've heard talks about, people maybe selling him on for Walker and it's not, I wouldn't say it was a bad move to kind of sell him on, because what you could be doing is just, kind of in this sort of scenario, you could be kind of ahead of the curve in selling him. But at the same time, I just think, if you're saving a transfer, you've got 2 transfers in game week 3, that you can reassess then. And as you said, game week 3 onwards, Spurs fixtures pick up hugely. So, yeah. So I mean, if I had him, I'd be 70% keep. No, sorry, maybe 80% keep and 20% sell. So yeah, I'd be in the same opinion as you on that.
Yeah, the chat seem like they're with us. Mo saying stick, and some might bench him, and he's in my starting 11. But I think I might move him to the bench because it's the fear of the 1 pointer, and we know with Conte wing backs, no matter who's starting, even last week. Sessegnon and Emerson Royal were both brilliant. Neither played 90, and we don't expect that. We just need our guys when they are playing to get to that 60 mark. And I think early indications show most of the time they will. The substitutions will come after 60. But yeah, it's still a little bit high risk.
So if you bench him, Gianni, who you playing?
I think I would be playing Nico. No, I've got Pereira in my 11 already, mate. That's the problem with Threemium. You have to always, for me, I have to always play Pereira, Williams, or Patterson. One of those 3 will always start. Now, if someone like Perisic isn't in the 11, I need 2 of those 3 to start. So Patterson away to Villa, probably not going to go there because I only am Bailey in my 11 too. But Nico Williams at home, I just think Forest and these newly promoted teams, we saw it with Fulham at Craven Cottage, they were good. We saw it with Bournemouth, they're very good at home. It's the home records that keep these teams up, isn't it? And I just feel like Nottingham Forest might actually be quite good tomorrow at home. So give him a chance.
As well. You've got a chance of attacking threat with him as well. He's not bad.
He got forward quite a bit, didn't he? I know against Newcastle, obviously they got hammered. He did have a shot. He did have a couple of good crosses. I think it was one big chance created maybe as well. So I was fairly happy to see him flying forward. He will get forward, won't he?
Yeah, no, for sure, I think. But obviously, they need to score goals, so we'll see. I don't know. I'm really kind of, I'm still a bit not sure in the promoted teams who's going to be the ones doing well. I know Bournemouth and Fulham done well game week 1, but still not sure. It's only one game week, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah, exactly that. We've got a little bit of news for you from Leicester goalkeepers coming up. We're going to be showing our teams. We've got Against the Obvious, and we're going to be answering your questions. But first, Midir, more on Perisic. Zinchenko is appealing. And you can look at last week's points and go, yeah, Zinchenko did well, but Arsenal backline looks good. Yeah, the Chelsea defence got points, but their backline looked good. Newcastle, Trippier got points, but yeah, they look defensively sound. And when you're looking at that Perisic price band, there are lots of options at Newcastle, at Arsenal, at Chelsea. So it is tempting, but I do think you give him that fixture run. You bought Perisic for game week 3 onwards. You didn't buy him for game week 1, maybe, but not for 2. Game week 3 to 4 to 5 to 6, the fixtures are really good. If he doesn't start game week 3, I might be looking to sell, but I think I'm going to give him till that. I think it might be Forest. So yeah, I mean, is Zinchenko a player you've looked at, Abdul? Is he on your radar?
See what, he's not on my radar because I've got Gabriel, but he was a player which I kind of, it's a bit of hindsight, but I just thought I should have looked into him more pre-season because, with Tierney, like, I mean, I was surprised he started, like, because obviously I know Arsenal, like, kind of lined up with the 3 centre-backs, and when I was looking at the formations on all the apps, like, I had Zinchenko as a left-back, but if you saw his average position maps, he was playing, like, he was one of the most advanced, he was playing as a left midfielder, basically, right? Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of kicking myself I didn't look into him a bit more because he does seem a great option now. But I think I've kind of made my bed with Gabriel. It's not really worth a transfer, I don't think.
Yeah,
but
yeah, those sideways transfers within positions at the same club are something I always try and avoid. And sometimes you need to do it, but the Arsenal backline doesn't seem like one of those. It's a bit like if you're on Mane, you need to go Salah. Well, yeah, it pays to go Salah because he was the standout option.
Yeah.
With that Arsenal defence, though, there is a new guy in town. And this is a 21-year-old they've owned for a couple of seasons. He's been on loan. He's 21. He's played for the France senior team a fair bit, 5-6 times. And we know the strength and depth they have at centre-back. Mm-hmm. And that's Saliba, 4.5 million. He got 2 bonus points. So he got 8 points. And he looks like he might be a bit of a bonus points hog. I like him at 4.5. If I was on a wild card today, or when I do wildcard, which might not be in the not too distant, or even if I don't, it might be a transfer income game week 3-4 for me as I look to strengthen my backline. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be going Salah, but I think he's a great pickup at 4.5.
Yeah, no, I agree because you know what? There was a lot of talk, like a lot of hyping him up, with the Arsenal fans that I knew, like, and if you go on the Arsenal forums saying that he was going to be the first choice, but I just didn't kind of really, trust that. I just thought with White and Gabriel there, maybe not, but yeah. I mean, from that first game, he looks amazing, and I noticed all the kind of you're right, he will be a bonus hog because if you play the Sky game, like he gets a lot of recoveries and tackle bonuses, which obviously if you kind of translate that to FPL, that's good for the BPS system. So yeah, when Arsenal get a clean sheet, he'll be up there with a bonus, and yeah, I mean 4.5 million can't go wrong with that, can you?
Yeah, I'm with you there. I don't think there's much between someone like him and Gabriel. Offers a little bit more goal threat, but you save the 0.5 if you can.
Exactly.
And it'll be interesting to see when Tomiyasu is back, but I think Saliba will keep his place at centre-back and Ben White out at right-back. Guys, we said we'd mentioned Leicester goalkeepers. Abdul, I went there. I don't think you did you?
No, I didn't. And when I heard the news about Leicester goalkeepers, I was so ecstatic, and because I went Sanchez and Ward, but then you kind of spelled the party when you told me that he was going to be like a second or third choice. So I was like, damn.
Yeah.
but yeah, he's not going to be a threat to Ward, is he?
No, I don't think so. And look, Iverson could get a go, but it looks like Leicester have signed a keeper today. But this is someone that will be on the bench if he's even in the first team squad. Like he'll be training with the first team. But I think he's back up. Like Ward's done enough there to go, give me a chance. They spent a lot of money on Ward. He's Wales #1. Be going to the World Cup. I think it's time to give him a go. And last weekend, I watched his performance quite closely against Brentford. Couldn't have done anything for the goals. Had a reasonable game. So yeah, I don't think Leicester are going to be keeping too many clean sheets for us. But for me, it was the way I could go freemium, and I just went, oh, I haven't gone freemium in any of my drafts, and then it threw everything out the window. It went, oh, I don't have to decide between Kane and Haaland. I can have both. Yeah. So I don't regret it, but I do need to strengthen that back line and possibly strengthen the keeper in the not too distant. But
but with the 4 million keepers though, Gianni, no matter what team, like, if you've got 2 or 4 million playing goalkeepers, then that's a great value no matter what team it is. So I think it was. I mean, I was really close to going with Ward and Emerson. So yeah, good decision, but obviously it allowed you to get the premium as well, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And look, when you buy those budget keepers, even the 4.5s, you're there for saves. You're there for saves, right?
Yeah.
And you're not expecting too many clean sheets from your budget keepers. So
Nah.
hopefully we get the saves and you get bonus when they do keep clean sheets. But look, let's move on. We want to get to your questions as soon as we can. But we do this every time on a Friday. We do a little bit of guessing around the 11s. Now, if you like the graphic that's about to be on screen, and for loads of you wouldn't have seen this, the first time we've shown it this season, we had it last season. Do me a favor. If you like the graphic, you give us a thumbs up. You give us a like. Deal? Deal. Right. Okay. Show Pep Roulette. These likes don't tick up from 44. I'm walking out the room. Come on, the likes. Bring them on. Good stuff. There we go. Look, we want to get to your questions if we can. But first, we have to talk about that City 11. I've done my prediction, Abdul. Let me know if you think there might be any changes in this. Pretty much. This isn't through laziness. This is through going, they looked good last week. Pep likes rhythm. Bernardo's links to Barcelona are still there. And until they go away, I think Gundogan will get the nod. There's still an injury to Laporte. Stones doesn't add much game time, so I think Ake starts. And then the front three, I think Foden on the right looks good. Now, Mahrez could come in, and if he does, I don't think it'll be Foden that drops out. It'll be Grealish. But I'm going for this, and Foden plays left. I'm going for the same 11 as last week. What's your take?
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think, as you're saying, with Pep, he's always talking about rhythm. So, like, none of the players done anything wrong last week, even on like when I seen the extended highlights, even on an individual basis. So yeah, I think same as you. I think if there is one player to drop out, it will be either Grealish or Foden for Mahrez, and I agree with you as well. It's going to be Grealish the most likely. But yeah, I think he'll probably start with the same lineup as last week. Obviously with Silva probably not featuring at all.
Yeah. How impressed were you with Haaland? Because I was like, yeah, that's why we went big on him, and he just took the goals so well. He's gonna be a monster, isn't he?
Yeah. See, as soon as he got that ball, Gianni, like when KDB played him through, I just knew he was going to score. Like I was like, it's a goal. It's like, yeah. I mean, I was even impressed with this penalty. You know what I mean? He stepped up. You know what I mean? His first game, he seemed so relaxed when he took that penalty. And I know Mahrez wasn't on the pitch at the time, but there's no way he's giving those penalties to Mahrez. And even from what Pep said after the game about if somebody tries to take the penalty off him, I can see him punching him in the face. So I think Pep's on his side as well. So yeah, he's got penalties now as well. I think that was one thing we were unsure of with Haaland pre-season, but I think that's been confirmed now. Yeah,
because Mahrez, there was a quote from Mahrez pre-season, wasn't there? But he also was like, "I'm not too selfish, and I would consider giving them up." And you're like, Haaland would never say that.
He would never say that.
Like, he's not giving anything up. What I loved was because he went down for the foul, and I'd love him to be rewarded for the assist and the goal. I don't think FPL will ever go there, but goes down for the goal, the foul from the keeper from Fabianski. No, it was Areola just come on. I think, and he just picks the ball up straight away, and it's like he marches to the spot. There wasn't even that look at De Bruyne or that look at one of the senior players. It's like, yeah, I'm on pens. I'm the big dog round here. I love that. He's going to get bags of points. Is he your... Yes. Well, we'll talk about your... I want to know if he's your captain. We'll get to that when we see your team. Because obviously we know your Twitter handle is FPL Salah. So what would you do with Bernardo is a question from Big Win. Like, if you own Bernardo now, he's a sell, isn't he?
Oh, for sure. I mean, like... But Bernardo Silva is not a player that even kind of came once into my consideration, like, kind of pre-season. But yeah, I mean, with all the kind of Barca talks and with that City midfield, I think if you're going to go with a City midfielder, Gianni, it has to be either, KDB or Foden, I'd say, possibly Grealish. But I mean, I think even KDB is, too much when Haaland's at 11.5. But yeah, if you've got Silva, then yeah, I for 7 million, he's just really not worth that, I don't think.
Yeah. Guys in the chat, let us know if any of you are on one of those midfielders. Like, is there any Foden love out there? I think 8 million, I think he's going to get more game time than Grealish and Mahrez this season. He actually got more game time than Grealish and Mahrez last season. And without Sterling and Jesus, knowing he can play right, left, with Bernardo going, might even see him playing the Bernardo role at times. I think Foden could become an option this year. But look, you guys will know if you watched this show last year, I'm a big, big FPL fan of his. because I just love how City play and I love how many chances he gets and I love how close to the goal he can be. But yeah, for me, it's still a wait and see on him. But if you're looking in that 8 million midfielder market and you're perhaps wanting to move away from a Luis Diaz to look at a Darwin or a Robbo, and you're not interested in Kulu, then yeah, I think Foden could be on a few radars. But I think after this weekend, we'll know if we want to go to Foden or not. If he goes big against Bournemouth, I think we'll see a little bit of a bandwagon there. What about Gundogan? Because he's 7.5, John mentions, and he's that slightly bit cheaper that might tempt us, especially if Bernardo goes. We know what you can do in FPL, Gundo.
Yeah, I guess with the Gundo, it depends on what position he's getting played in. So I guess, yeah, I mean, like, if he's playing in the kind of more advanced role, when he's popping in the box like he was, at periods last season, and I think it was the season before when we had a really, a really good run. But yeah, 7.5. I just think, with 0.5 more, you can get Foden. 0.5 less, you can get Grealish, who are at the moment better options. But yeah, I think with him, it's just with the rest. I'm waiting and see what happens with Bernardo, and then kind of assess from there. I don't think there's any kind of need in taking a risk on him just now.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, guys. Do give us a like. Loads of you in the chat. Let's see how many of you are with us tonight. 149 currently watching. Thank you guys for the support. If you're new around here, Mondays and Fridays at 7, give us the thumbs up and, of course, hit that subscribe button. Regular co-host Dean is off sick tonight, but we're still going to show his team. This is a great excuse for me and Abdul to have a little go on his. Let's rip it to pieces, shall we? So, guys in the chat, let us know what you think of Dean's team when we show it up next. But so let's check out our team reveals. Yeah, so Dean's become a proper FPL enthusiast now. Like last season, he would call himself a part-time FPL manager. They're probably very engaged until we met people like me and Abdul and went, yeah, I'm not that level. I'm kind of a bit more part-time than that. But now, because we're doing these streams twice a week, Abdul, he's proper into it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he is. He's asking questions about effective ownership and price rises and when price rises happen and why that's so volatile. So, and I can see how engaged he is, which I love. And he's also picking very good teams. So whilst I would love to go to town on this team, it's a little bit difficult because I actually do like the team, and I think he beat me last week. I think he got an extra point than me. But where would we improve it? This is his 11. He's got the armband on Salah over Haaland. What's your take there?
Yeah, I mean, I can see by his team that he knows what he's doing. I like the Aronson and Grealish picks because I think they're quite punty picks, but they're calculated punts. Aronson was like amazing, against Wolves. He was like inches away from getting that goal. So yeah, I like this team. I think his bench is fine. I think the starting 11 is fine. In regards to Salah over Haaland, I think I really can't see past Haaland this week for captain. I just think he's like the kind of clear choice favourite. I mean, Bournemouth at home. I mean, that's probably the best fixture of the season. I think the only trump in that is maybe Forest at home. So I mean, if you're not going to captain Haaland in that fixture, then when are you going to captain him?
Yeah, it's a great point. If you're not captaining your boy at home to Bournemouth, that's the one. And look, Palace are no mugs either. He's also, I don't think he's made a transfer this week. Just looking at his team, I don't think he has. He's probably rolling, which is sensible. My change would be Saka at 8 million. He might prove us wrong this weekend. I would just go Martinelli at 6, and then you can improve on, say, a Grealish, for example. You could look to boost somewhere else, or even an Aronson, who I think is a good buy. You're right, Aronson was great. CH is giving Dean's an 8.9 out of 10. Love that. Love that, CH. So yeah, it's a good team. The bench is the bench many have got. He's not having to start players like Andreas, who I absolutely am, and Dean's a Fulham fan, of course. So yeah, good team. He'll have 2 free transfers next week, and he'll be able to go in all sorts of directions, which is quite tasty for him. Oh, he has. He brought in Haaland for Kane. Of course he did. So he made that move before the price rise, which is very smart. Very engaged.
Yeah,
FPL River.
I don't blame him.
That was it. Sunday night was it? That price rise.
I think I can't remember if it was Sunday or Monday, but yeah, it was quite early. It was really early in the kind of week. So
yeah. FPL River, he's going Martinelli for Grealish, saves him $1 million, then upgrade the keeper. Yeah, that's not a bad shout. You could go. That is triple Arsenal attack. How would you feel about triple Arsenal attack, Abdul? Because friend of the show, FPL Harry, he's on triple Arsenal attack. And his argument is they're all the best in their price points, in their positions, so why not? But it does limit you to then cover that Arsenal defence, which started the season so well last year, might do the same this year. Early signs suggest they will.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I don't see any problem with the triple Arsenal attack. You know, Saka, Martinelli, he's just fine. I think there's enough value in the defence here that you don't need an Arsenal defender. I mean, I think that move, I don't know who suggested it, but Grealish to Martinelli, you know, it's totally fine. That's a great move. And Arsenal's fixtures up all the way up until, you know, kind of game week 8-9 is when we're probably most of us can be using our wild cards anyway. You know, great fixtures all the way up until then.
Yeah, like that. Good stuff. Thank you for your suggestion there, FPL River. Let's check out, mini league reminder at the bottom of the screen. Guys, it's not too late to join. We're probably only going to allow people into the mini league for, I think, probably only a couple of weeks because we had people joining for that at a PS5 up for grabs last year, and people were joining really, really late. So we're gonna have to draw a line under it soon. So get in. You can compete against the likes of me and Dean, and Abdul will join it as well. So yeah, there we go. At bottom of the screen for that code. Next up, we will show mine and Abdul's teams. We're going to start with yours, Abdul. Talk us through it.
Okay. Yeah, so I think I've came out of game week 1 pretty unscathed. I had a good game week. I had a good start, 78 points. All my players are playing at home this week, Gianni. So I don't see. Yeah, so no transfers for me. 100% saving it unless like. You know, we hear of some, you know, I mean, I guess even if there's an injury to that team, I probably still kind of won't make a move. I'll just play one of the bench players. So yeah, 7 this week, Haaland captain, and just kind of reassess game week 3 with 2 or 3 transfers.
Yeah, Diaz is an interesting one because I completely get it. Double City defense, 6 pointers all day long. We'll get loads of them. Were you put off by Walker out of the fear of missing perhaps one in every 4 or 5 games, and if they sign a left back and all that? Because obviously you could have gone Walker and saved $1 million. Because Walker and Diaz have got similar ceilings at 6 points, haven't they?
Yeah, I think with Diaz, the kind of idea for me there was that, you know, he's more nailed than Walker, and on top of that, I had him there as a Perisic placeholder as well.
Nice.
So he's 6 million. So I mean, I'm looking, you know, at that move in game week 3, possibly game week 4. So just when we get a bit more information on Perisic. So he's, you know, I mean, City, elite defense, best defense in the league. Happy to take his 6 pointers until, you know, I kind of move him on for somebody with a bit more upside.
Yeah. And you said about Haaland captain, like if you're not going to captain him versus Bournemouth, when would you? Is there any fear in that fixture? Scott Parker manages to do a park the bus jobby, and at 60, 70 minutes in, we're like, they still haven't scored, and they probably end up winning it 1-0. But if they don't score early, there is always that fear with a team like Bournemouth, who are well coached under Scott Parker. Or are you just looking at it going, everything suggests we're going to get more goals in that fixture than any other, therefore it's a no-brainer? You just got to back the odds.
Exactly what you just said there. You just got to back the odds, Gianni. I mean, football, we never know what's going to happen. I mean, you remember like a few seasons ago when Norwich beat City 3-2. I think it was that, you know, that first season they came up, and like that was, you know, one of the shock results, you know, and see, like, you know, City's kind of recent history. So we never know in football, but you've got to back the odds. I mean, the odds say City are massive favourites. You know, you'd probably be surprised if they score less than 3 goals. So yeah, just back the odds.
Yeah, I think so. I'm with that, and that's why I don't mind those that want to have a little bit of a fun punt on a Foden. Even like, there's nothing wrong with that because the fixture's so good. GV saying, if Chelsea defense gets solid, how about Koulibaly? I think he's 5.5 from his time in Italy. Like, he can strike a ball, he can score, but he's not a massive goal threat. Certainly not an assist threat. So 5.5 seems a little bit high for someone when you can get a James or a Cucurella for 5 million.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any value in many of the. I mean, definitely not in the Chelsea centre backs when you've got James, Chilwell, and Cucurella, kind of, you know, with all the upside. I don't know much about Koulibaly, in all honesty, in terms of, you know, how good he was in Italy. Gianni, obviously, you're the expert there, but yeah, I just kind of feel like, you know, there's not much kind of attacking threat there compared to the fullbacks.
Yeah, he's similar to Rudiger. Like, he can come out, he can bring the ball higher up the pitch and get into those long range of positions, but he doesn't score many. He says less of a goal threat than Rudiger, if anything. From set pieces, he's obviously very good, but he scored a volley last season in Serie A. I think it was edge of the box, half volley. And I was like, oh, I didn't know he had that in his locker. So he's got that surprise factor. But then Rudiger used to do that, didn't he? Rudiger would go and hit a 30-yarder and you're like, oh, wow, that's going top bins. And it just narrowly misses. So there's a little bit of that with him. But yeah, the upside is still fairly low. I much prefer the wing backs to the full backs. Tom asking about Jesus. Here we go. If Jesus blanks again, is it 2 strikes and you're out, or do we give him 3? Because after Leicester this weekend, and we've all got him, Abdul, I'm the same. He then plays Bournemouth, Fulham. So if he fails this weekend, you have to give him another chance, right?
Yeah, you got to give him another 2 chances at least. You know what I mean? With 2 promoted teams. I mean, these things happen in the FPL, Gianni. You know, these things happen in football. You know, good players, you know, go through a series of blanks. But as long as they've got as long as the fixtures are there and they're playing well, their stats are good, keep them. Don't worry about the price drop. So yeah, I mean, Jesus for me is going nowhere in the next few games. You know, it doesn't matter if he blanks in the next game or not.
Yeah, I'm the same there, and we'll see my team very shortly. In fact, let's show my team. And look, FPL Songs in the chat. Rob, good to see you. Glad friend of the channel, FPL Songs. Rob is in the chat. Do check him out on his YouTube channel for awesome songs. It's good to see so many regulars with us. We will get to as many questions as we can in our time to talk later in the show, but keep them coming in, guys. So here's my team. It is weak in terms of bench and even the likes of Andreas and potentially Perisic having to start. However, this team does have 2.5 in the bank. Now, I'm not going to go and spend those funds this week, I don't think. I don't think that 2.5, I don't think it's worth the 4-point hit. But I am looking to target an Arsenal or a Chelsea defender. And off the back of this weekend, I've no doubt next week, it will be Patterson or Williams out. Potentially for a Reece James, potentially for a Saliba and bank the money and go cheap 4.5 Arsenal. But I've got money to spend. So I think my team's going to look way better. Now I've bought Darwin in for Kane. That was my transfer this week. Oh. Yeah, so Darwin is locked in. I beat the price rise last night. I actually bought him in on Wednesday night because I thought he might rise and he didn't. And I woke up Thursday morning. You know, when you do that, you buy a player because the price rise, and you wake up in the morning, you go, damn, he didn't wait in price. It didn't rise. I could have had an extra 24 hours of potential. He's actually injured, or potential Klopp says something bad about him or whatever. So I was like, I woke up going, damn, I shouldn't have taken it. But yeah, nothing came out on Thursday. And I think he starts on Monday. What do you think?
Yeah, I didn't know you actually made that move, Gianni. It's a brave move, I think.
Yeah,
with me,
early, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those moves, Gianni. It's like it's a brave one. It's a risky one because I'm really not sure, because I really thought he was going to start against Fulham from his kind of performance from the Community Shield. I thought, no, that's it. You know, he's came on, absolutely smashed it. And you know, he was getting in great positions. And then even when he came on against who did they play? Fulham. You know, he got 4 shots in the box with an XG of like 1.36 in like 39 minutes. You know, he seems like an absolute kind of beast FPL wise. So, but I still don't know. I still think, you know, you can make arguments for both. You could say, you know, Klopp's going to go with a kind of tried and tested again with Firmino, and then, you know, bring Darwin on again, and then maybe, you know, he will eventually be the number 1 striker. We know that, but when that'll be, we don't know. But if I was, I mean, if you're kind of gun to head, I'd say he starts.
I think so. For me, like, it's the Anfield factor, knowing, because this guy hasn't played yet in front of the home fans. And I just think big reception for the big new signing, who was, I mean, if ever there was a guy in the last 2 performances that has done enough to secure a start. Firstly, we didn't see a great deal from Bobby in either fixture against Fulham or Man City. And then you go, oh, he not only came on and scored, he was a real nuisance, but he changed the game. He changed the way Liverpool are playing. So I'd like to think, I'm pretty confident he starts, which is why I made the transfer. Now, I was tempted to go there game week 1, but the fear was he was going to get 30 minutes. And because I had players like Perisic already, I was like, can't have too many of these guys. So I didn't think he'd start game week 1.
You're right. I mean, it was the right decision as well, Gianni. It was just that he came on and hauled, and that doesn't happen very often, you know, especially like you know, two attacking returns in 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
My only concern with him, I guess, is like he has come on and done very well in the last half an hour of 2 football games. But obviously, this time in the season, these players aren't up to speed. So the last half an hour, centre-backs are tired, goalkeepers are defenders are tired, midfielders are tired. And with that, you're like, oh, he's coming on fresh. What's he going to be like from the off on a very hot day on Monday? Will there be that gulf in fitness levels between, or energy levels between him and the other players he's playing against? Probably not, because they're all at the same level.
That's the risk, isn't it? That's the risk that you've taken. So yeah, excited for you. I mean, I don't think he's very highly owned, so I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you with the Darwin Hall.
He's not in our community, is he? Like, I mean, I look there and he's got 24% ownership, which is crazy. But the 24% of managers that own him, 1 in 4 teams, are managers I don't know. And I'd like to think I probably know 500-600 managers from FPL Twitter. I genuinely can't name. I can name a couple, I think, that might have him, but very few. Yeah,
there'll be very few in the Twitter community, Gianni, that have him because they're very engaged managers. Like when I was looking at like my mates' teams who, always show me their teams now when they see me. But when I was looking at their teams, they all had Darwin. And it's a casual pick, isn't it? It's one of those where he's a new player, he'll do well. But I think kind of most of us kind of more engaged managers knew he probably obviously was a risk to start the season with.
Yeah, guys, if you think Darwin is a good pick, hit that like button and let me know. Give me that confidence that Darwin's gonna be a good transfer, because I'm a bit worried about selling Kane as I did, not for the Chelsea fixture, but beyond. Spurs' fixtures are great. Guys in the chat, let us know what you think. We asked whose team's better. I saw a lot of Abduls popping up on my chat. Saw a lot of Abduls. John Cahill saying top not friends. I think he voted Team Gianni. Thanks, John. Abdul's makes it easier for transfers. It definitely does. There's more balance in that squad. Although Abdul does have 5 at the back. Thanks, Big Ed. You're right. My team does look quite well balanced with 2.5 in the bank. It will come game week 3 or 4. It will look a little bit more like Abdul's in terms of balance, because I'm going to invest that 2.5, upgrading potentially a Bailey if he blanks again in game week 2 and 3, and then definitely one of my 4.0 defenders. So there we go. Thanks. We've got an Abdul in the chat that's not gone for his namesake, that's gone for me. Thank you, mate. Yeah. Tom saying he didn't see that I had 2.5 in the bank. Yeah, we should make that bigger, shouldn't we? The 2.5. Although don't get used to it. It's very, very few times I'll have that sort of money in the bank this season. I can almost guarantee that. Guys, don't be afraid to join that code at the bottom. Like, go onto the FPL website after the stream or during the stream and enter that code in to join our mini league. You can play against us. Guys, we've got loads of questions we want to get to. But first, we're going to do a very quick fire. Oh, no, I think we're going to go straight on to questions. Or we're going to do, we might be doing our 60-second challenge of unpopular picks. So we can potentially do that now. Yeah, let's start with Against the Obvious. First up, we've got 60 seconds why you shouldn't pick Kulusevski. I'm going to go, and then Abdul's got a big name for you as well. So look, we pick popular players and tell you why not to pick them. So here are 60 seconds worth of reasons why not to go Kulusevski. Here we go. Let's start that clock. He did very well last week. There's no denying that. Was it 13 points? But this guy won't be playing against Musa Djenepo every week. He won't be playing against a makeshift Southampton left wing back. And look, Spurs did very well, 4 goals. And Kulu ended the season so well. And look, this is a very good player in his own right. Will there be a big spread of points at Spurs this season, like game week 1 indicated? Or will we resort to type and start to see a lot of Kane and a lot of Son goals? I think so. I think the real value in that Spurs team, if you want to go outside of the big 2, it's at the wing backs. Now, look, we don't quite know when Perisic is going to be a starter. We don't know if Emerson Royale is on lock. But when we start to establish that in a week or 2's time, come game week 3-4, the fixtures are great. You go to the wing backs. You can get a 4.5 Emerson or 5.0 Emerson Royale. You absolutely have a go there. And because of that, Kulu's one to avoid for me. Shop elsewhere. I think Foden could become a thing this weekend. Keep your eyes peeled for that. That's 60 seconds worth of reasons why not to pick Kulu.
I can't believe you.
So tough.
I can't believe you talked that whole 1 minute of not having to pick Kulu. That was great.
Mate, this is a hard task. I think you've got the harder challenge because you're going to do the same with Harry Kane.
Yeah. Okay. When do I start?
Here we go. Clock starts now.
Right, Harry Kane. So obviously, Kane's a great player, but they're playing Chelsea away. Chelsea were the third best defense in the league last season. They're they're not schoolboys, and then obviously they've got Koulibaly there. Who's a solid defender from the Serie A. Gianni knows all about him. So obviously not the easiest game. And also, if you believe in curses, then obviously, apparently, Harry Kane's cursed. He's got the August curse, so we're still in August. So another reason. Finally, I think obviously as well, we've got a Haaland there who is playing Bournemouth at home. And then if you compare that with Chelsea away, it's no comparison. That kind of reduces his appeal even more. And I guess we can talk about Son, who might be, better value than Kane. He got more goals and more points than him last season. So, 5 seconds left. I think that's all I've got.
Mate, that was a good effort. Look, strong case there. Like, you probably can't get Kane and Haaland. You have to go Haaland. Son's the better premium at Spurs, possibly. He was a bit deep as well. He was a bit, again, he's a little bit deep. Yeah. I look forward to watching the game. I can't wait till Sunday's game. Sunday's game is going to be awesome. Like, to know where Chelsea are at and where Spurs are at. How good are the Spurs team? We'll find out, I guess. Yeah. Good stuff. We have got so many questions, and look, we've been saving them all. So if you asked a question at the start of the chat, there's a good chance we'll get to it. Likewise, we're taking loads of questions from the bottom of the chat, those of you that asked them now. So get them in. We're going to be as quick fire as we can. I think we're going to go alternate, Abdul. So I'll take one, you take one, and we're going for 20, 30 seconds where possible, because we're going to get through 30 in the next 15 minutes if we can. So here we go. First question, who's going to be up next? We'll flash it up on the screen and we'll show you what question we're going to go to. Here we go, Paul. I will give this one to you, Abdul. Foden and Van Dijk or Trent and Grealish? That's a tough one.
I think definitely Trent and Grealish. Reason being is that it's Trent in that option. So yeah, definitely. I think Trent, compared to Van Dijk, definitely worth a lot more points. Whereas with Grealish and Foden, probably not a big golf there. So yeah, I mean Foden makes that a bit more interesting. That option A, but I'd still go with Trent and Grealish, I think.
Yeah, good stuff, Eddie. Oh, Mount, a keep and roll, or to go 8 million player. Gianni is a Chelsea fan. What do you think of Mount? Okay, I think you give Mount another week if you own Mount. I think he might have been injured game week 1. It's very rare Mount comes off at around 60, 70 minutes. And he was, I think, came off before Havertz and Sterling. And that's very rare. Like, he's very rarely first sub. Wouldn't be surprised if he had a knock. I'm sure he's fine now. Game week 2, give him a go against Spurs. He did well against Spurs a lot last season. I think we played him 4 times. Mount was one of our best players against Spurs and was our player of the season. He had a good pre-season. I think Reece James was on a lot of the set pieces last week. I'll be interested to know how if Mount and him share them. Just keep an eye on that. If Mount does lose corners, that's a bit of an issue for him. But yeah, give him another week. We'll go to Femelo. Buffering. I have Coutinho. Keep or sell. What do you think, Abdul? He was anonymous versus Bournemouth.
Yeah, he was, and I think just with the fixture, Gianni, Everton at home, I think you've got to keep him. Yeah. He's not a player that I considered, pre-game week 1, and you probably have to. I mean, I'd say the chances are you're going to be selling them soon, maybe, but I think for the next, even the next few, I think give them a chance. But yeah, I think keep for now, but probably sell later in the next maybe 3 or 4 game weeks.
Nice. Guys, 250 of you watching. Thank you for joining us. We're going to do these every Monday at 7, but also every Friday at 7 before those deadlines. Very exciting to be on this journey with us at Chasing Green Arrows. We're a new channel. We make this channel all about you, right? So questions really important to us, especially on the Friday streams. For those not putting the armband on Haaland, who's getting it, very easy one here, CH. Like, it has to go to Salah if you own him, right? If you do own another Man City attacker or a Cancelo, I don't hate that call, but you have to go for those players you think are going to get double digits, and Salah on any given game can. So look at Salah, and obviously the Spurs assets out the question this week. I think that could be a low-scoring London derby, Chelsea Spurs. I love Lamp. If Darwin bangs, will you get him game week 3? Oh, it's a good question, this, for Abdul.
I don't think I will, because it's just the way my team is set up, Gianni. I've got the 2 forwards, and I've got a 4.5 million forward. So I'll probably need to actually make 3 transfers unless I get, rid of Haaland. So, yeah, not for me just now. I think I'll probably look at Darwin after my wild card. I think I'm going to give him until then, just basically because I think by then we'll know exactly where he's at in that Liverpool team, and also, wild card time as well. So, yeah.
I hope Darwin forces people like you, Abdul, that by getting hat tricks that have to rip up their team to get him, because that's where I saw my strength was like, because I went premium, I could go down. Like, you don't want to sell Gabriel Jesus if he blanks again because he's got 2 amazing fixtures, but there might be FPL managers out there that feel like they have to because he's going to bag hat tricks. Let's see. It's a big. I'm so excited, but at the same time, it would be so FPL for Darwin to blank on Monday night. Start Reece James, Andreas or Dean. Easy one here. You start Reece. Like, you start your premium there. He could play right centre back against Son. He's done that before, but even so, set piece threat. That's still an elite defence. Start Reece. John, thoughts on Damsgaard? I think he's coming at 5.5. Feel that Ericsson role. Very good. Is he very good in the Euros when he played? He scored that free kick against England in the semis. What do you reckon? Wait and see. Did you like Brentford, Abdul?
Yeah, I really rate Brentford. I think I think the loss of Ericsson, I think, was a bit overhyped. I think at the start of the season, a lot of people kind of thought, weren't really kind of seeing Tony as an option because of him. So I think they'll probably get a similar number to last season, Gianni. And I like Damsgaard. He was very impressive in the Euros. I've actually bought him in one of my draft teams that I play. So I've got him in nice and early. But I know Thomas Frank said that he won't be ready to start this weekend. But after United game, Brentford's fixtures are really good.
Yeah, I know you're a Brentford fan too. You had Tony last year when a lot sold him. You kept the faith and got a lot of points from him.
I did, yeah.
Yusuf, I think you sold him just before he had a hard fiction game, scored a pen, and you just sold him. I remember it well. But I think you got a lot of points from him as well. Thoughts on the Haaland versus Salah debates as Yusuf? Very easy in terms of captaincy. You go for the odds, and everyone would suggest, all the bookmakers, for example, the betting odds, they all suggest that fixture will be way more high scoring. City have got much higher chance of 2, 3, 4, 5 goals than Liverpool. So you go there. Good question though, Yusuf. It's a question that will be on a lot of FPL managers' minds. Aside from the obvious picks, Abdul, did anyone catch your eye in the first game week? Awkward price point, but Sterling's top of Kenny's wish list.
Yeah, I mean, Sterling was impressive. I think he had a goal disallowed for offside as well, didn't he? But just going back to Aronson from Dean's team, he was actually the main one that kind of caught my eye, and it was mostly because, I mean, he's not like 6-7 million, he's 5.5 million. So he's one of those players, that could kind of possibly replace your Baileys and your Nettles, sometime soon. So he was the one that kind of really, I was watching and thought, wow, okay, he looks a player, not only like on the pitch, but I think he could be a good FPL asset as well. Yeah,
I'm with you there. Let's move on to Aninda. Gianni, any thoughts on starting Patterson or Dyer? Oh, that is a tough one. I'd probably... Spurs did look very good, and Spurs could be very good, and Chelsea don't look like they're going to be a team that score many, although they always score at Stamford Bridge. I'd be tempted to go Dyer, but that's a bit of a coin toss, that one. Look, I'm on Perisic, and I could play Patterson or Perisic, but Perisic isn't going to be a starter, so I think I'll just say Dyer on that one. Good question. Really tough one to answer that. Osama, Jesus, stick or sell? One for you, Abdul.
Easy stick. Don't think we need to kind of dwell on that too much. Yeah, easy stick.
Nice. Jamie Alvarez, should I take him out for Welbeck? We're going fast here. Yeah, I think so. I don't mind Welbeck, but he will get injured and you will have to sell him. But for as long as he's fit, very good game against United. Surely he keeps his place, although no manager changes things more than Potter. Brighton, that could be a nice differential for you, Jamie. Yeah, I think Alvarez you do have to sell, unfortunately. He might become a thing, but later in the year. Marcus, start Bailey or Pereira? One for Abdul here. Both, 5 and a 4.5.
Yeah, I'd say Bailey all day, especially after those Gerrard comments in the press conference, Gianni. Yeah, I think he's got a lot more upside and the better fixture as well.
Yeah, good stuff. Abba, Saka, Kulu before Foden, though. No. Not Saka, no, for me. I'd go Martinelli and save the money and then invest in the Arsenal backline. So I'm actually ruling Saka out a little bit in my head because I want triple Arsenal that's Jesus, Martinelli and defender. And Foden over Kulu's a tough one. I think this week it's Foden's worth a punt. Foden's a fun pick. Question from Mr. Langer. Would you guys start Andreas versus Wolves over Mount this week? Abdul, one for you.
No chance. I mean, Wolves at home are they're a really good defense. I mean, they're a really tough team to break down. I wouldn't start or even captain many players against Wolves away. So yeah, Mount all day. I mean, he's got set pieces, he's got a goal and assist at it. I don't think there's any competition there.
Yeah, with you there, Shane. Trippier over Andreas. There's a lot that are looking at starting Pereira this week. Look, I think when Fulham are playing at home against good opposition, he might be in your 11s, or you move him to first sub. But don't think Fulham are going to go and score 2-3 goals every week. I know they scored 2 at home against Liverpool, but as you say, Wolves isn't an easy place to go. So you absolutely start Trippier. There's no contest there, Shane. For me, Paolo, Perisic and Kane out. Oh, looking at a 4-point hit. 4-point hit to get Haaland in, and then you got to downgrade Perisic. So yeah, I mean, for Haaland, if you're captaining him, it's worth the 4-point hit, no?
I don't know. I mean, that's a tough one. I don't think I'd make that move. I think, I mean, firstly, you're getting rid of, okay, that move might look good this week, right? But it's a -4. But then from game week 3 onwards, Perisic and Kane, Wolves at home, and then they've got, a great run of fixtures. So yeah, I'm not sure about that one, to be honest. I probably wouldn't do that.
Oh, it's a tough one. I think I'd have so much FOMO over Haaland captain. I'd probably make it happen, but it's a dangerous game with those Spurs fixtures. Loads still joining in the chat. Gianpaolo's just joined us. Guys, do go back and watch from the start after the stream finishes in the next 5 minutes. We've had an awesome show. We've showed our teams. We've had a bit of talk on press conferences. We're now answering your questions. We've got 6 minutes to go. What are your thoughts on Perisic versus Reece James? I own Perisic. I don't own Reece James. I wish game week 1 I'd gone Reece, I guess, but I do think Perisic come game week 3, we need to see him starting, will be on everyone's mind. The fixtures are really nice, and when he starts playing in FPL, for those that haven't watched a huge amount of Perisic, you're all going to love him. So yeah, it's a close one. Let's go to Mr. Abda Raymond, Darwin or Luis Diaz. Oh, third Liverpool asset. Which one?
Is that for me, Johnny? Yeah?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, for me, still Luis Diaz. I've got him in my team, so I'm probably a bit biased there. But yeah, I think for the time being, I think Luis Diaz is the clear pick for me. He's a lot more safer, minutes more secure. Who knows in a few game weeks' time, Gianni? But for now, it's Luis Diaz.
Yeah, I do like them both. I had Luis Diaz all pre-season, sold him just before game week 1 when I changed my team around. Bernardo, which would you rather have for the upcoming game week? Darwin or an 8.0 mid? Oh, Bernardo. Darwin all day long. Darwin all day long for this one. He's going to start. Monday night, he's going to start. And do you know what? If you've got Salah as well, which I presume you have, those two are going to link up so well this season. One gets the goal, one gets the assist. I think Darwin's going to change some of Salah's points too. I don't think we're going to be going, we're captain Darwin instead of Salah, but that could happen come the new year. Let's see how good he gets. But I'm very excited about him just because of the big chances he gets time and again. One for you, Abdul. Who can I use to replace Perisic? Who would be your top if you were shopping for 5.5 or less in defence?
I think for me, it'd be between Zinchenko and the player's name went in my head. Walker. I think they're probably the 2 top picks. I think Walker is going to be pretty safe until the Champions League game starts, and probably kind of beyond there as well. And I keep mentioning the kind of first wild card, so I don't think it's as a risky pick as it would be in previous seasons. Yeah,
Stephen wants to know what to do with Rashford. I'd play him. I think he'll start this weekend because Martial's still out and they haven't signed a 9, right? So we'll see. I think we'll see Rashford wide left. Maybe he gets a chance up top. The false 9 Eriksen Bruno thing didn't work. Rashford could play number 9, so you definitely don't sell him for a hit. Although I do think Brentford could beat him, which will be interesting. And poor Christian Eriksen, that fixture won't be good for him. Alisson is good, but he's not someone you bring in for a hit, I don't think.
Yeah.
Another question coming in. Any advice for a wild card? Any advice for? So you're on a wild card. Okay, give me 3 picks that you would definitely go for on a wild card that wouldn't be necessarily the obvious ones.
Oh, that's a tough one. I've not even thought about this, so I guess I would go.
Aronson's got to be one for your budget midfielder.
I don't know, because I don't think for me, John, not much has changed since game week 1. So I mean, my wild card would be very, very close to my actual game week 1 team. To be honest, so I think it's way too early for a wild card unless you've really, really messed up game week 1. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to pass that back to you, Gianni, I think.
Yeah, there are very few. I think the only one that I would definitely lock in that isn't in people's teams is Saliba at 4.5 at Arsenal would be an absolute lock for me. I think I would cover Chelsea. I'd consider Mendy at 5.0 as well. I do think Chelsea backline with the signings they're making, I think could be very good. So if Cucurella starts this weekend, again, he could be an option. Talon, is the season to do a no Salah? Quick one there. No, it's not. It's just not. Another question: can I remove Perisic for Walker game week 2 for a hit? Would you be selling Perisic for a hit, Abdul?
No chance. I mean, if it was free, obviously a free transfer, I wouldn't say it was a bad move. I wouldn't really advise against it if you're content, but not for a hit.
Yeah, good stuff. We're getting through these. Can Villa, Everton be a goalless draw? It could, yeah. Look, both those teams didn't look up to much in terms of attack game week 1. So, if you're on a Villa defender or a Patterson at Everton, yeah, I am tempted to play. I don't think I will. I think I'll go Nico Williams over Perisic. Would you play Nico Williams or Patterson, Abdul?
Oh yeah, no, Nico Williams. I think you've got to go with the home fixture, Gianni. Everton just so unpredictable. I mean, they were terrible last season, weren't they?
Yeah, losing my head about who to bench. Reece, Trippier or Bailey. Samar, don't ever lose your head over it. It's just a game. But it does cause us headaches. Reece, Trippier or Bailey. Who'd you bench out of those 3?
I think I'd bench Trippier out of them. I think it's close between Trippier and Bailey, but I think I'd go for Trippier. I just think obviously Bailey, you're not gonna bench Reece James, so it's Bailey probably has the higher upside in that fixture at Everton at home.
Good stuff. We have our last question from a regular. Had a worldy season last season. Thoughts on transferring out Son for KDB, says Mohammed Abu Bakr. I think was top of our mini league till like game week 36 last year for KDB for this week, and reverse the transfer next week. That's using 2 transfers just to get KDB for a week. Absolutely not for me. Like, value those transfers at 4 points, even when they're not 4-point transfers. It's 8 points worth of transfers. And Son is a guy that on the counter-attack against Chelsea, if anyone's going to score for Spurs versus Chelsea, Son's going to be the one for me. So, yeah, I'll throw this to you as well. Abdul, you wouldn't make that move, would you?
No chance. I mean, I think Son has. I mean, he's got the much higher goal threat than KDB. So, I mean, I would fancy Son over these next 2 game weeks over KDB anyway. So, yeah, not for me, not at all.
Good stuff. Right, before we finish, we go to our top 5 comments. We're going to start with comment number 5 of the stream. Woohoo, 100 likes. Well done, Team Green. CH, you are always championing the likes. Thank you for that. And guys, hit the like button. CH will remind you if I don't. Back to Mohammed. We want Abdul, Gianni and Dean every week. Love that. I'm sure at some point in the season, we'll be seeing Abdul again, guys. Stay tuned for that. Punter, looks like Dean partied too hard after beating Gianni in game week 1. Maybe he got a point on me, didn't he? I think it might be food poisoning. We'll see. I'm sure he'll be back on Monday, though. In at number 2 from FPL Spartans, giving us a long one. Game week 2 is a time to ponder, or maybe we should wonder whether we should have a good mull, but I'd rather speak to Abdul. Don't worry if you think you have missed the boat. Speak to the FPL guy.
I like that.
Wow, love that, Spartans. Very good. Oh, again, we got another poem. I'm not very good at reading these out. Gianni is so cool. He can even leave the stream to have a game of pool. The girls love his Latin flair and tend to swoon, but boys, if you show him some more likes, he will soon be over the moon. Very good. Love that. Do drop us a follow on Twitter, FPL Spartans, and follow Abdul as well, and give us some weekly poetry. We'd absolutely love that. And guys, you can check Abdul out on Twitter. It's FPL Salah. Likewise, give Chasing Green Arrows and myself a follow. We're on Insta too. That was a load of fun, Abdul. Thank you.
Yeah,
You had a good hour.
Oh, it was great. It's just flown by. I couldn't believe it's been an hour already.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
It's always fun when you're chatting with friends. That's the good thing about Chasing Green Arrows. Like we're a community here that invite friends on to chat. So that's kind of how we see it. So yeah, we look forward to having you again in the not too distant. And good luck for your game week 2. You expecting big things from your team? I mean, it's well set up with all those home fixtures.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, 11 home players, so I'm hoping for a big score, but it's football, it's FPL, so you never know. But I'm rooting for you, Gianni, with that Darwin pick. I think it was a brave move, so
I need it
for you.
I need it. Guys, if you want to see our team reveals, you can rewind back half an hour and you'll see both our teams. But for now, we'll see you on Monday. He's been Abdul, I've been Gianni, and we've been Chasing Green Arrows.